Hey everybody, Joe McCall here. How you doing? I had a question here that a common question that I get by a student, Bill, and I thought it would be good to respond to this question in a short little video clip and spread it out there so maybe it'll help somebody else. This is a really good question, and I'm just going to paraphrase what it was here. He lives in a suburb in a large city in the northern part of the United States. I'll just leave it at that. He signed up for some of our marketing packages, and in our marketing right now we do a lot of Craigslist marketing, and so we have different levels on there. But one of the things he noticed is there's somebody else in the market, a competitor, a guy who does something similar where he wholesales lease options. Now, this question is specifically related to wholesaling lease options, but it also can relate to any kind of marketing that you're doing or any kind of deals that you're doing, wholesaling, short sales. What happens when you have other investors that are doing the same thing you're doing? Okay. He says here, I noticed that they have a nice web page that is similar to the one that you have. So I'm wondering how that would fit in with Craigslist and what I'm doing in my marketing, and would it affect any leads in the program? And so basically he's wondering, you know, is the marketing that we're doing exclusive to certain cities? First of all, when we do marketing for students, it kind of depends on how big the city is. If it's a big city like this one is, we will not limit that to just one or two investors for various reasons. Number one, this area in particular is very, very big. There's tons of sellers and buyers out there in this market, so we're not worried at all about competition in this. Now, what we like to do is target Craigslist ads specifically. Okay, so what do you do though if there are a bunch of competition in your market for sellers? And this is bigger than Craigslist, but I want to talk about this and kind of deal with this issue as best I can. First of all, I would say you don't need to be worried about competition. I know when you're new in this and you're doing a lot of spending a lot of time and resources and energy in researching this different real estate investing strategies, it would be nice, you would think, if you were the only one doing it in your market. So then you wouldn't have any competition. Well, that's just not the case. First of all, there is tons of competition out there for deals, and you just need to get used to that and accept it. But number two, don't be afraid of the competition. Various things to think about here. You know, you always find the Home Depot and a Lowe's right next to each other. Well, why is that? It's because when they know that if somebody wants to buy some building supplies, they're going to go to the north side of town because there's a bunch of hardware stores over there. So they're going to drive through, or they may be driving and they see a Lowe's or a Home Depot and they say, oh, you know what? I need something. So they'll go to one store. Maybe they don't have it. So then they'll just go across the street to the other store and maybe get it from there. A lot of times what people will do is they'll compare prices. They'll see how much it is at Lowe's and how much it is at Home Depot and buy it wherever it's cheaper. So you'd think competition would scare them away and they would want to be far away from each other. But they've found that they will make more money, all right, when they're close to a competitor. When it comes to marketing for sellers, many times sellers don't respond until the third or fourth touch. Okay, so your competitor might be HomeVestors or some huge franchise that spends tens of thousands of dollars a month on marketing. All right, but your postcard that gets sent out may be the third postcard that seller receives, and you know what? They're going to call you, and they're going to say, and this has happened to me. You know what? I keep on getting your postcards. And so I guess I'm curious now, what do you have to offer? I want to sell my house. I get calls sometimes even where they'll say, hey, I was driving on the interstate and I saw your billboard and I want to sell my house. I want to get rid of it finally. Well, I don't put any billboards up, okay? But they see my marketing out there, the little bit that I do compared to what HomeVestors does, okay? HomeVestors is the one spending tens of thousands of dollars on these billboards out there. And why are they doing that? Because they know it works. But the great thing about real estate investing, when you start doing things like Craigslist, when you start doing things like direct mail, it levels the playing field, okay? Now you're playing with the big boys, or you could be just a little fly on the elephant's back. So many times your postcard may be the third or fourth postcard that they receive, or your Craigslist text message may be the third text message that they receive. Or they may get a bunch and they call all two or three of you at the same time, but because you know how to sell these houses faster, or you know how to buy them faster, you're going to get the deal. So number one, don't be afraid of competition. Don't be afraid. Just get that out of your head, okay? There always will be competition. They'll go through spikes. You know, if you got a big guru that comes in town and does a bunch of marketing and they get a bunch of people in these seminars, you may see for a week or two this huge spike. Everybody's sending out letters. Everybody's doing all this marketing. But I guarantee you, give it a few weeks, give it a month, it'll die down back to normal. But it's those that are consistent in their marketing will see great results. So you've got to be consistent and commit today that the marketing that you're doing, regardless of the competition, is going to be consistent and regular, and you're going to always do it day in and day out. Every day you know you're going to contact 30 sellers in Craigslist or landlords, and every week you're going to send out 500 postcards or whatever, and just keep on doing it. The other thing I would suggest here is the student is talking in particular with Craigslist marketing. And if you find that you're doing a bunch of Craigslist marketing, but this other competition is getting to those leads faster than you are, I wouldn't say stop, but you might consider a couple things. You might consider expanding your area. If you're in a big state and you're just targeting one city in that state, maybe you can target other cities in that state. You could have your VA start sending marketing out to nearby cities. Even outside of your state, you could start sending marketing. I have a student, for instance, who has a real hard time talking to sellers on the phone because she has little kids that stay at home, and their kids are always screaming or crying in the background, okay? I know what that's like, trust me. So all she does is every morning she gets up and she just picks a city in Craigslist and just sends out 20 or 30 emails to sellers in Craigslist. Just regularly sends out these emails to sellers in Craigslist. The next day she'll pick a new city and send out 20 or 30 emails to those sellers. She closes all of her deals just with emails. She doesn't even talk to them on the phone. And so she spends a lot of time communicating back and forth with these sellers by email, gets them to fill out the agreement online at her website, or she emails it to them. And then she starts marketing the home. It doesn't matter to her at all what state or what city that deal came from. Okay? She knows how to close these sellers, and she does it very, very well. So the great thing about this business, whether you're flipping lease options or doing traditional wholesaling, it doesn't matter if it's in your own backyard or not. It doesn't matter about competition. So get that out of your head. The other thing is I wanted to say, if you are focusing on Craigslist, and that's where you normally get most of your leads, but you're finding there is a lot of competition, you're not getting much response rate, you need to start focusing more on direct mail. In any type of marketing that you're doing, whether it's short sales or rehabbing or lease options, you should never rely on one source of marketing. You need to expand it out to multiple avenues of marketing. So I love Craigslist. That's where I do most of my marketing. But that is only half of what I do. I'm also focusing on direct mail. I'm sending postcards to absentee owners and letters to probates. I'm sending mail to divorces and evictions and things like that. And I also do some internet marketing and stuff. So don't ever just rely on one. Now, Craigslist is nice because it's cheap. It's actually free. And it gets a good response, but you also need to start targeting direct mail and absentee owners and things like that. The final thing I'll say is this. When it does come to competition, and you can really make yourself stand out by learning how to talk to sellers better on the phone. That is many times the key, because your competition may need to talk to 30 sellers to get one deal. If you learn how to talk to sellers effectively and ask the right questions and get right to the point and really mean business, you may only need to talk to 15 sellers to get one deal under contract. So they may be getting 30 calls to get a deal. You only need to get 15 to get a deal. All right? So only focus on the areas that you want to do business in, the nice homes and the nice areas, okay? And start focusing on that and practice talking to sellers. So I know that's a lot. I'm about 10 minutes here. But I just wanted to answer this person's question in this email that I'm sending to him, but also send it out to you guys because I think it'll help. All right, so cheers. I'll see you later.